Good evening and namaste to all the viewers, dear students and others. You all are welcome to Genius Lakshya, which is a unique platform for all the competitive examinations in general, UPSC, NDA, and CDS in particular. And today we will understand one of the most important topics, very interesting, very important. In most of the examinations, you will get the answer. You will get the questions from this topic. Union territories. In my previous session, I have already elaborated about the historical background of the Union territories. How the Union territories came into existence. What were the objectives of the Union territories? Because there is already a state. And in state, there are many cities. Why it is different, why it is separate? It is neither a state nor a city. It is in between city and the state. So we discussed the objectives of the Union territories, why a particular place is called Union territory. It can be a city. We discussed it. And what was the objective? Number one, effective administration. To make the administration more effective. How it can be made more effective? By direct control of the central government on that particular place or area or territory. If central government will look after a particular place directly, then that particular territory will improve positively. At the same time, there are so many places in our country where the place is not much developed. Tribal people are there. Again, they need special attention, special cooperation from the central government directly. That was also another provision, objective of the creation of the union territories in our country. Third was strategically. As far as the management is concerned, strategies are very, very important. We know it very well. So some places are strategically very, very important for international cooperation, for national, international importance. So those places should be controlled directly by the central government. So we have union territories. The name itself suggests that it is a territory of union, means central government. It directly comes under the central government. So we understood all this thing. Today we will understand special provisions for the Union Territory of Delhi. Means Delhi is different from the other Union territories. how it enjoys special status, how it is different from other union territories. We will understand it. Also, we will understand who makes laws for all these union territories. Central government make it, central government makes it, state government makes it, the union territory itself makes it. Who makes law for all these union territories? We'll understand here. Law is okay, legislature is done. Now about judiciary. Does a union territory have its own high court? We will understand. How many union territories are there in our country that have their own high court? So very interesting, very important, very such a topic which is very significant by nature, and you have already understood the foundation. So let's start. I'm sharing the first slide. It is visible and audible, let me know. So this is the part 2 of the union territories. As I have already given you the background information on the topic, where we will discuss the judiciary process in the union territories, the legislative process of the union territories. If I am visible and audible, let me know. Okay, so be there, enjoy the session. If you have any question, you can ask me. So let's start. Okay, so test is the best, and again there is a test for you. So students, appear the test quickly, write down the answer in the comment box, and you will get all the answers from the presentation itself. So let's start. Article 239, 239 to Article 241, 241 in Part 8 of the Constitution of India. These articles 239 to 241, they deal with the union territories. They speak about union territories. Right or wrong? Then question number 2, all the union territories. As we have discussed that we have 9 union territories. All the union territories belong to one category. Belong to one category. So there is uniformity in their administrative process. Means all the union territories are administered equally. There is a great amount of uniformity among all the union territories because they belong to one category, that is their union territory. Right or wrong? Then every union territory is administered by the Prime Minister. And acting through not N, it is ministers appointed by him. Means the Prime Minister administers the union territories and he appoints a minister for the administration of the union territory. An administrator of a union territory is an agent of the Prime Minister. Right statement or wrong statement? The administrator of Delhi is called the Lieutenant Governor because the administrator of different union territories are designated differently. So according to you, the Lieutenant Governor is the administrator of Delhi, right or wrong? The Prime Minister can also appoint the governor of a state as the administrator of an adjoining union territory. Then Puducherry, Delhi, Jammu and Kashmir have their own legislature. Then Delhi is the only union territory that has a high court of its own. Then the Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh have two different high courts. And last statement is the Lieutenant Governor can also withdraw ordinance at any time. So all these are the 10 statements from the today's presentation, and you will get answer in the presentation itself. In case you have any doubt, I will get back to you and I will answer you. So let's start the presentation of the day. The administration of union territories we are going to discuss, and all the administration process of the union territories of our country, they come between the article 239 to 241 in part 8 of the Indian Constitution. Even though all the union territories belong to one category. They are union territories, so category is same. But there is no uniformity, means there is difference in their administrative system. Each union territory is administered in a different way. So they are not uniform, they are administered, they are managed in different way. Every union territory in our country is administered by the president. Acting through means president acts not directly but through an administrator appointed by him. So the president appoints administrator, and that administrator is accountable, is responsible for the administration of a union territory. An administrator of a union territory is an agent. Why an agent? Because he is appointed by the president. So he is the representative. He is an agent of the president in the union territory. And administrator of a union territory is not head. He is not head of a state like a governor. We know that governor is the head of a state. But administrator is not the head of a union territory. Very important. This is the difference between the governor and the administrator. We know that governor is the head of the state and chief minister is the head of the government. But administrator is not the head of a particular union territory. The president may specify the designation of an administrator. The administrator has different names. It may be lieutenant governor, it may be chief commissioner, it may be administrator. These are the different names of the administrator of a union territory. At present, it is lieutenant governor in case of Delhi, in case of Puducherry, in case of Andaman, Nicobar Island, Jammu and Kashmir, and Ladakh. So, these are the union territories. and the administrator of these union territories are called lieutenant governor. And in case of Chandigarh, Dadra Nagar Haveli, Daman Diu and Lakshadweep, the person is called administrator. So fundamentally both are same but by different names. The president can also appoint a governor of a state as the administrator of an adjoining union territories. Means for example, this is a state and here it is small union territory. So as we know that governor is the head of the state, the president may appoint governor as the administrator. The governor of this state can also be appointed as the administrator of this union territory. The president can do so. The union territory of Puducherry in the year of 1963, Delhi in the year 1992, and Jammu Kashmir in 2019, we have already discussed, are provided with legislative assembly. So, which union territories have legislative assembly? All the union territories do not have legislative assemblies. Only 3 union territories have legislative assembly: Puducherry, Delhi, and Jammu and Kashmir. So if there is legislative assembly, that means there is council of ministers headed by the chief minister. The remaining 6 union territories do not have such political structure. Means out of 9 union territories, 3 union territories have legislative assembly and 6 union territories do not have legislative assemblies. But the establishment of such institutions means the establishment of legislative assembly in the union territories. In 3 union territories, it will not diminish, it will not reduce the supreme control of the president and parliament over them. Means though these 3 union territories have legislative assemblies, it does not mean that the supreme control of the president and the parliament over these 3 union territories will diminish or will reduce. The parliament may make law on any subject of 3 lists As we have already discussed, that there are three lists: union list, where the union government makes law; state list, where the state governments makes law; concurrent list, where union as well as state government both make law. So the parliament may make law on any subject of the three lists, including the state list for the union territories. So the Parliament of India makes law. Parliament makes law for the union territories. This power of parliaments also extend to Puducherry. Though Puducherry has legislative assembly of its own, Delhi has legislative assembly of its own. Jammu and Kashmir has its assembly of its own, but the Parliament of India may make law on any of the union list, state list, and concurrent list, and it is applicable to Puducherry, Delhi, and Jammu and Kashmir also. This means the legislative power of the Parliament of the Union Territories on the subject of state list remain unaffected even after establishing a local legislature for them. The state legislature assembly of the Puducherry can make law on any subject of the state list and the concurrent list. So, state legislature of Puducherry, legislative assembly of Puducherry, legislative assembly of Delhi, legislative assembly of Jammu and Kashmir, they can make laws on the state list and the concurrent list. On the state list and on the concurrent list, these three union territories can make law. The president can make regulations for peace, for progress, for good government of Andaman, Nicobar Island, Lakshadweep, Dadra Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu, and Lakshadweep. So, President is empowered to make regulations for the overall development of these union territories. In case of Puducherry, we know that Puducherry has its own assembly. In case of Puducherry also, the president can legislate law, regulation, but only the condition is when the assembly is suspended or dissolved. If the assembly has been dissolved, if the assembly has been suspended, that means there is no assembly. In that particular situation, in that case, the President of India can make regulations for these union territories. A regulation made by the President has the same force and effect as the Act of Parliament and can also repeal amend any parliament in relation to the union territories. Means the role regulations made by the president has same power, same effect, same force as an act of the parliament. The parliament can establish high court. Now we are discussing on judiciary process for the union territories. So the Parliament of India can establish a high court for a union territory or put it under jurisdiction of high court of adjacent court. So these are the two situations. One, the parliament can make one high court for one union territory, or the parliament can bring a particular union territory under the high court of a state which is very near to it. Delhi is the only union territory in our country and it has its own high court and it is there since 1966. Then other union territories do not have their own high courts. Okay, so Bombay High Court. Bombay High Court has got jurisdiction of Union Territories of Dadar and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. Mean Daman, Diu, Dadra and Nagar Haveli. These union territories come under Bombay High Court. They do not have their own high courts. Similarly, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Andaman and Nicobar Island, Chandigarh, Lakshya, Puducherry, these union territories comes under different high courts. Like Andaman and Nicobar Union Territory comes under Calcutta High Court, Chandigarh Union Territory comes under Punjab and Haryana High Court, Lakshadweep Union Territory comes under Kerala and Puducherry comes under the Madras High Court. So, Delhi is the only one union territory with its own high court and other union territories do not have their high courts. Jammu and Kashmir High Court is the common high court for two union territories, Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh. So for Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory and for Ladakh Union Territory, there is only one high court. The Constitution of India does not contain any separate provisions for the administration of acquired territories. But the Constitution provisions of administration of Union territories also applicable to the acquired territories. Now we will understand Delhi and its special provisions. The 69th Constitutional Amendment Acts of 1991, it has provided a special status to the Union Territory of Delhi. and redesignated this National Capital Territory of Delhi, NCT. Again, it has been redesignated as the National Capital Territory of Delhi, and designated the administrator of Delhi as the Lieutenant Governor. So the administrator of Delhi is called Lieutenant Governor, and Delhi has its own legislative assembly and the Council of Ministers headed by the Chief Minister. Previously, Delhi had a Metropolitan Council and Executive Council. The strength, the member of Legislative Assembly of Delhi is fixed at 70. There are 70 members of Legislative Assemblies in Delhi, and these 70 members are directly elected by the people of NCT, National Capital Territory of Delhi. The elections are directly conducted by the election commissioner. The assembly can make law because it is an assembly like state assembly. So assembly can make law on the matters of state list, concurrent list, except three matters. So there are three matters where Delhi Assembly cannot make law. Number one, public order. Number two, police. Number three, land. In these three matters, Delhi Assembly cannot make law. Then the laws of parliament prevail over those made by the assembly, as we have already discussed. Though Delhi, Puducherry and Jammu Kashmir have their own assembly, still the law made by the parliament will prevail over the assemblies or over three union territories, in addition to other 6 union territories. The strength of the Council of Ministers is also fixed. As we know that it is 10% of the total strength of the assembly, that is 7, because total strength of the assembly is 70. So 7th Council of Minister including the Chief Minister means total 6 Council of Minister, 1 Chief Minister. It is total 7. The Chief Minister is appointed by the President. Remember, very, very important, not by Governor or Lieutenant Governor, because Governor appoints Chief Minister in the state, but the Chief Minister of Delhi is appointed by the President, not by even Lieutenant Governor. In other ministers are also appointed by the President on the advice of the Council of and on the advice of the Chief Minister of Delhi. The minister hold the office during the pleasure of President. We know it very well. We have already discussed Council of Ministers. And the Council of Ministers are collectively responsible to the Assembly, and the Council of Ministers headed by the Chief Minister. They aid and they advise the Lieutenant Governor. In case of difference of opinion, for example, there is a difference of opinion between the lieutenant governor and his minister. Then the lieutenant governor is to refer the matter to the president. On any particular matter, if there will be a difference of opinion regarding the uniformity, regarding unity, then the lieutenant governor will take the advice of the president of India regarding that matter. So he will refer the matter to the president. In case of a failure of constitutional machinery, if a particular union territory does not function accordingly, then the president rule is imposed. It can be imposed. This can be done after getting the report of Lieutenant Governor. The President of India can impose the president rule on that particular union territory. This provision is equal to 356. We know that Article 356 is about the emergency, and the provision resembles Article 356, which deals with the imposition of president rule in a state. The lieutenant governor is powerful or is empowered to promulgate ordinances during the recess of assembly. If there is no assembly, then lieutenant governor has the power to promulgate ordinances to meet emergencies, because ordinances are promulgated during the emergency period. But an ordinance has the same force as the assembly, and such ordinance must be approved after the 6 month of reassembly. Means when the assembly will start, then within the 6 weeks of the reassembly, it must be approved by the assembly. The lieutenant governor can also withdraw ordinances anytime. Once the ordinance has been imposed, then the lieutenant governor can withdraw it. But he cannot promulgate ordinance when the assembly is dissolved or suspended. Further, no such ordinance can be promulgated, withdrawn without the prior permission of the president. So the president's permission is a must for promulgation of an ordinance in the union territories. So this is the end of my presentation. If you have any doubts and query, we can discuss right now. Okay. Question is how 3 union territories will make law on state list and concurrent list. 3 union territories means Delhi, Puducherry and Jammu and Kashmir. We know that there are 3 type of list. One is central list, central government makes law. Another one is state list, state governments make law. And third one is concurrent list, means central government, state government both can make law. Okay, so these union territories have their assembly, they have chief minister, they have council of minister, so they can make law of all the lists of state. Also, they can make law on the concurrent list. Question is asked, Delhi is union territory or state? Then what is the answer? Delhi is a union territory. We discussed that it is national capital, right? Union territory of Delhi. So there is no word called state. The state word is not associated with Delhi, but union, it is associated with territory. So it is union territory. What is territories of a state? Territory means place, area. A particular area, territory means place, area. That's it, very simple. Lieutenant governor will make law or parliament will make law. Lieutenant Governor does not make law. Parliament makes law for the whole country. Lieutenant Governor is like governor. He is an agent of the president in the union territory. So he does not make law. Yes, if there is no assembly and emergency is there, a law is needed, then at that time he has the power to promulgate ordinances. So let's check the answer. Article 239 of 239 to 241 part of Indian Constitution deal with union territories. Absolutely right. So this is a true statement. All the union territories belong to one category. So there is no uniformity in the administrator. We discussed in the presentation. There is no uniformity. They are different. Every union territory is administered by the Prime Minister. No role of Prime Minister, that is the President of India. So this is a false statement. An administrator of union territory is an agent of Prime Minister. No, not the agent of Prime Minister, but agent of the President of India. The administrator of Delhi is called Lieutenant Governor. This is right answer. Yes, he is called Lieutenant Governor. The Prime Minister can also appoint the governor of a state as the administrator of an adjoining union territory. Wrong answer. Not Prime Minister, but the President of India. So this is false. Puducherry, Delhi, and Jammu Kashmir have their own local legislature. True, they have their legislature. Delhi is the only union territory that has a high court of its own. Yes, Delhi has high court of its own. The Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh have two different high courts. No, Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh has only one high court, not different. The lieutenant governor can also withdraw an ordinance at any time. Yes, he can withdraw ordinance imposed by any time. So this is true. So share your mark. Before the presentation 7 mark, after the presentation 10 mark. Very good. So fundamentally, basically, you have already understood the union territories. Sujal, before presentation 7, after presentation 10 mark. Very good. So well done, going great. So today we discussed very important thing about union territories, and we will continue the same in the upcoming presentation on union territories. Chintan 7 mark before presentation, after presentation 10 mark. All the best, and I hope that you are enjoying, you are learning something different, and till then take care. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. See you soon. Bye bye.